Hi,
Wonderful.
everybody. It's Linda G. And today I have a special guest. And oh my God, what a ball of fire. I got on and she was there and like, boom. You will love her. Her name is JLynne, and she's intelligent and eager to do what she can to help this world. She found me on YouTube, correct? And she said it saved her life.
Yes. Well, it did, didn't it? I mean, we
Right.
have come through a very difficult period of time, and I really relied heavily on your strength and your nonchalance and your irreverence. It has been so important because I live in a life where I work listening to problems all the time, and then there were all these other problems, and everybody listening knows what I'm talking about. We all went together through this whitewater rafting trip, and the Orange Menace is like all of my relatives rolled up into one person. So it was very traumatizing for me. And so I'm using my tools as hard as I can. I'm tapping and I'm feeling my feelings and I'm breathing deeply and I'm keeping myself full of oxygen so I could keep the boat going for everybody else. You carried me. I carried them. They're carrying others. We're all in this together. So
Right.
just a really enormous thank you. And
Awesome.
I promise you, you don't understand how much you've helped us. You really, I'll
Oh,
cry.
well, listen, it's not for me to delve into.
Yes.
I'm doing what they told me to.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I
That's
am
right.
I am
Right.
the puppet or whatever. I mean,
That's right.
when I talk and I even say, oh, didn't I say that? My guides will correct me and say, no, we said it.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Because it's not us, it's love through us. And then we get to just be surrendered and have a good time being in 100% service to others. That is the secret to happiness, is it not?
That is also the secret to being alive as a human on this earth. The whole love factor involved with helping anyone. Kindness is the best. Mercy is the rule of the universe. And that is, if we don't do that, then we just turn into, not that we're going to hell or anything, but it's such a loss, because when I read the dead, none of them are over there saying, oh, I wish I'd have gone for actors training and been that movie star I wanted to be. It's always about, geez, I could have done a little bit more for others.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
there's people, when the guides told me that I was going to do this work, and I really, can you believe it? I didn't get knocked out with lightning out of my room because I heard him say, you're going to do a YouTube channel. I'm like, what? I don't want to get up and brush my hair. And
Yes.
he
I love
said,
that.
Linda, you will help calm people down.
And so I'm here to tell you that that has really, really happened because my other career is very dangerous. And I came to the point of wanting to complete suicide myself. That's how intense this has been, everybody. This is what we survived. I'm an empath. I can feel all of you. That's
Yeah.
not fun. Not fun.
No. But also they said, if your ego gets involved, this will be in my book. They said to me, if your ego gets involved, we will remove your gift.
Right. Right. And so I love it when you say that because it really clarifies some things. You touch on these really, really important points throughout all of the fun and laughter that you bring. And one of them is we don't want to wish any ill on anybody. And the other one is along those lines, we want to look at stuff, but we don't want to do it with basically a sinister kind of intrigue sort of a mentality. You want to be love-based, if you're going to look at this stuff, it's for the good of humanity. That's our purpose and our
Right,
mission.
but it's hard when you see
Slippery
people
slope.
doing things to hurt
Yeah.
others.
Slippery
Even
slope.
McCarthy
That's
last
right.
night. It was just
That's
like
right.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, but also I had to have some passion for him or compassion for him
Right.
and say, because I know it's going to be awful coming up for him.
Oh my God, it looks like it's been pretty hard for him, And so that's another thing. Mr. 45 has been so beautiful because he's helped me to teach folks compassion.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I had my first wedding, I had 250 guests. We'd been together 6 years. The marriage was going to fix it. And then boom, I did a face plant for everybody to see. And that's kind of where he seems to be right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching his.
How many times you been married?
3.
Me too. Girl, you're in the 3 club.
That's right. The 3 club.
But I'm done and dusted. I gave my t-shirt away.
I know.
So listen, so JLynne, and she has a website. Now we're going to talk about what she offers on her website. It's JLynne Diva Coach.
Correct.
All one word, and I'll post it below, you guys. Divacoach.com. She just had her friend. What's your friend's name again?
Which one? Michelle.
Michelle.
She's the office manager. Okay, so So I'm collecting Indigenous women. Because I don't get to be in leadership with that. Look at me, okay? So I'm not Indigenous, but I have a farm in Mendocino. It's not my farm. It belongs to the people over there, and they're raising food for the hungry, and they're raising herbs, an herb garden for medicine for the poor. And that's over in Casper on the Mendocino coast. And she is totally,
You
her name
probably
is,
went through that earthquake.
they did. Sure they did. Sure they did. And she's Ui, she's from Hawaii. And so she is bringing the native folks together in gatherings and things like this. I would love to do some sort of a fundraiser for that farm, giving away my readings and my coaching, and they get the cash to feed people.
Right.
Of course, you know, our beloved Linda G is Comanche. And now my manager, my creative director, Michelle, is also a Blue Streak born Indigenous woman. So we would like to raise some money to help brown people,
Yeah,
brown women.
well, we'll do an event. We'll do an event.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm gonna post her link too. Fortunate Fawn.
Yes, Fortunate Farm.
Farm,
And
sorry.
that's
I put
like,
fawn.
like raising critters. Sorry for dipping out of the camera there. Yeah, you're gonna post her website. It's a very unusual because it's Indigenous. So it's XA space KAKO space DILE. And she says, we are the first Indigenous women's nonprofit here in Mendocino County. We are mending the fabric of the land by healing women so they can heal other women so we can nourish Mama Earth. So
I'll put that down below too.
yeah.
So we're gonna put her down. We're gonna try to raise some money for her, which is easy to do.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And then you also were talking about a Sergio
Magana, I'm a big fan also of Sergio Magana. He also got me through the whole 45 thing, and he's out of DF, which is Mexico City. Very important person. Do look this one up because he's already teaching and training. He is, okay, so Sergio's story goes as follows. Mama was a professional woman. There was a shaman in a village, and the daughter was to inherit all of the wisdom, but she was being abused and ran away without even shoes. She wound up being Sergio's nanny. Basically, she was Sergio's mom. He got it all, and he's now giving it to us. So he teaches us things like using the obsidian to absorb energy. You guys work with crystals, right? I don't really work with crystals because you always have to clean them. They pick
I
up
don't
all
know
the,
nothing about crystals.
Yeah,
I'm not a crystal person.
they absorb stuff and they amplify.
That is interesting. Say how that's
Yeah. So this thing is obsidian. It's just, out of a volcano. And Sergio teaches that the mother wanted to give us a blessing, a way to clear ourselves. And so this is glass. It's obsidian and it's a sponge. So I open it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I just use it like a bar of soap, taking off all of the yucky energy because in the work that I do, that's what I get, right? So we just kind of wash it off, and then you apply flame to it. I don't have a lighter, but you apply flame to the obsidian and command that the yucky thought forms and all the shitty energies, excuse me for swearing.
That's okay.
Oh, thank you. All of the energies that are in there, they go back to their original light form, their energy form. And then Sergio teaches that you can feed this to your shadow, your hungry spirit. You can feed it purified energy. Not like I need any more energy myself.
I know.
Right. But I need to clean up because I'm an empath, so I feel everything. So that's what this is good for. Anyway, that's a really important gift. And that's just one of his millions of techniques. I mean, he's really powerful. Sergio Magana.
I'm gonna look him up even more. You said he does have a YouTube channel. I'll have to try to find it.
He has Facebook, he has YouTube, he's been published, he had a radio, he's known around the world.
Maybe a lot of my people know about him already. You know what I found interesting? You said you found Thomas More.
I know. Well, see, but I was raised in that kind of thinking. So if there is a religion, he's probably my religion. I'm whatever religion God is. Like when he talks, that sounds like my childhood. That sounds like how my father spoke. My father gave psychic readings in church at the lectern. Yeah. And then they sang Christian hymns. It's the spiritualist church. It's out of England. The sunflower is their symbol. This is actually a sunflower. I can't touch it right now. This glass thing, which is from that, this, by the way, other symbol, this is the tree of life here. And this is a symbol that I use. I stole it from Kabbalah. And this is a message I want to give to your folks. So we have lower tree and we have upper tree. This is like your canopy self, the top of your own spiritual tree of life. You're like the trunk, you have roots. If you stay in your canopy, you can stay blessed and get through these whitewater experiences much more easily. If you're down, caught up in what people are doing, can you believe what she said? That, oh, I got to get this done. Oh no, if it doesn't go this way, blah, blah, blah. That's your personality. We need our personalities. But if we try to run our lives from our personalities instead of from our canopy high self, we have a bumpy ride. And that's where the most benevolent outcome comes in. Is
Okay.
when we're having a bumpy ride, we can declare a most benevolent outcome. That's where you get the I almost said farting fairies, parking fairies. That's where you get the green lights all the time. That's where impossible situations work out harmoniously, because we're calling in the great I am to put its will into place. Just an opinion. This is just
Wow,
infotainment.
this is wonderful.
Very fun. So I teach people to toggle up or tree. So when you're feeling grumpy or lonely, it doesn't feel good inside of you, it's because that's an energy that is incongruous with who you really authentically are. In other words, that's somebody else's crap.
Yeah.
So I go in and pull it out. I teach the ladies how to do it on their own. And so we toggle to upper tree. We try to live from our higher power, our canopy self, and bless people. When we get caught and snagged, it's a classroom experience. It's just curriculum, folks. There's nothing wrong going on. What? Yeah, it's just a school. So the school works like this. If you don't learn your lesson, you get it again. And the Course in Miracles teaches you can't get off the bus. You can make it a worse ride, or you can make it an easier ride, but you can't get off the bus. We're all in this together.
Right, right. You'll never get it all done, and you'll never get it all right, is what they told me. But maintaining in the present is the best way to go.
And laughing, and you bring laughter, and you and Mel bring laughter. Everybody, you bring in all these beautiful people, and we
What
get
do you
to
mean, my double wide JC Penney's?
very funny. I love that joke, and it never gets old. I saw a lady who actually bought a big pair, and she opened it up. She's this was a workshop. She goes, okay, so now let's get our big girl panties out, and she pulls out these big white. It was so great. I wanted to pin it on my wall.
And then yesterday I was talking, and did you see me get fuzzy? Did you see my show yesterday?
Uh-huh.
The camera got fuzzy,
You were
and I
talking
said,
about being Carrie Lake.
it's my Carrie Lake view.
Yes.
I'm going to use that from now on.
So you touch on these things, and if you're just going to let me rattle, I'm going to keep going here.
Yes, we'd like to know more about you. We'd like to know what you offer.
Yes. Okay. So I offer services that fall along the lines of hypnosis. So if people need to quit smoking, then I would be the person to talk to. Really, though, I specialize in the more difficult cases. So the more difficult spiritual woundedness. So if somebody has been raped, and what happens is when a perpetrator executes an action against a victim, what they're doing is literally physically projecting their energy into the victim, and it brings them relief from their original shame. So we pull all of those energies out of the person. It's a healing process. So that's spiritual healing. There's intuitive consulting, which is like a psychic reading, but it's much more involved because I'm not a fortune teller. I will not tell you how it is going to go. I will not do that. I will tell you how to make it go well. Okay. So here's the Fool. This is the angel of unconditional love and freedom. This is the Jesus archetype, right? We think of it as a tarot card, but it's actually a symbol representing one aspect of your personal power. It's the power of agape love. And when we come from agape love, all of our synchronicity, that's how we get synchronicities, is by loving our enemy and everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we had MAGA people across the street with the flag flying. My husband goes out and he goes, so who you voting for? And we laugh. We have fun with it. We give them cookies. We love them. They love us. And that's purple. That's the way we need to be. That's this.
Okay.
This is the most powerful card in the entire deck because it is unconditional love. Hello, Jesus message. Oh, did I say that aloud?
So do you actually read the cards for people, or use the cards to demonstrate something?
I do a little House of Lenormand, a little tarot, but really the only reason to do it is to identify the spots that are too hard to find on your own. It's embedded in there, and I don't feel right, and it gets activated around the holidays, but I've never been able to put my finger on it. That's where I come in. We go down in and basically surgically remove it from their spirit.
Okay.
That's really what I do. I can do the other stuff, but this stuff is, I reach people where other folks can't really get in.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome, girlfriend. Yay. You're just Zoom.
Well, It's been a lot of years clamoring to get here. My bachelor's degree took me 14 years. I did the poor person's route. Yeah. So
Ooh,
it's been a long haul.
right. You said you had a tough childhood too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you
Yeah.
got through it.
Oh,
You didn't
sure.
let it identify who you were.
No, I was actually removed from the home from violence, and my father tried to arrange for me to be adopted.
Whoa.
It was not a good environment, and he loved me very much, and that's why he did it. It had to just break his heart. But so it was a really interesting, eventful beginning. And but that, you learn to rely only on your spiritual nature. So I've traveled alone in South America. I've traveled alone in Europe because I was preaching all this stuff to everybody. Don't I sound great? Don't I sound like I'm really
Yeah,
strong? Well, you got to walk the
yeah,
talk, right? At some point, you got to step out and live it so that you're not a fraud. So I
right.
went to South America by myself. I traveled in Portugal by myself. And guess what? It's really
Right.
true. When you step out in faith, that little ledge does come up underneath your feet. It really does.
And you got to give it, you got to hand it over.
Yeah.
Like that time I thought my daughter, when she got COVID, would die.
Yeah,
And they told me, practice what you preach.
right. Right. Yeah.
So,
So
in fact, my daughter just texted me, and I got to tell her I'm working right now.
yeah, I
Okay.
love hearing about your kids.
Thank
And
you.
your little grand boy on his little
Oh God,
night.
he's something. He's 9 years old, and he's going to be, I think he's 5'3" now.
Oh, he's my
9
height.
years old. My God.
Taller than me.
Well, my dad was he broke his back in a motorcycle accident, so we didn't see, but he was like 6'1", 6'2". His middle brother was like 6'4", and his youngest brother, Butch, was 6'7".
Yes.
Then my mom was 5'3".
Poor little thing.
Yeah. So you offer, I should have looked at your website before I even.
It's all good. It's just, yeah, I do coaching. I do spiritual coaching. It's basically women's sexual healing, which of course goes into relationships and marriages and ex-boyfriends. And why do I keep picking the same dude? And I visit seniors who are trapped in their home that can't leave and help them get through the depression and the feelings and all of that. And I work with veterans for free. Just started a program there. We meet once a month in the Mel's Diner in Auburn and teach them mindfulness every first Wednesday of the month.
Mel Steiner of all people.
I know, right? But it's all veterans in there.
Do they love you?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, well, they fell in love with my husband. Now, my husband, I wish I could bring him in here because he's so handsome. And he's got Cherokee.
Oh my God.
I know. I don't know. I just woke up one day surrounded by, as Michelle says, Injuns.
What happened? How'd you meet him?
I told God that I guess I wasn't going to be perfect, and so I still would like to be in a happy marriage. And so
That's an interesting way to go about
I
it.
was trying to make myself perfect so I could be in a functional marriage because of my background, and I worked so hard, and I just have such a long way to go in terms of my own personal growth work now, even. So
Right.
finally I realized I was going to die alone. So I'm like, okay, God, you pick. I'm terrified. You pick. And
Yeah,
he
well, I will never get married again. I've been married 3 times, but
Yeah.
it's interesting when you get to my age, and I'll be 70 this year. I could care less about any kind of and you know what? Thank God, because that's all I used to think about in my
Right.
earlier days was who am I going to be with?
Right.
I understand that feeling that you need to have someone there. Now, thanks, but no thanks.
Right.
No, no, but that doesn't happen. That happens with age, I'm sure.
Right. Right. And that's kind of like what it's like on the other side of one of my sessions. They still have the story, but they don't have the pain or the lust or the drama that is making them uncomfortable. If they want the lust, great. But if they don't want the pain or what, we can remove it. It's not us. Excuse me, it's not me. It's our bodies. So like you and I were designed to make babies. You did, I did not. But we're still designed to do it. Same thing with overcoming trauma. The reason we're here, just an opinion, okay? The reason we're here is because somebody was out hunting dinner and it turned and hunted them, and they continued the next day and the next day to go out and hunt again. They weren't frightened to death. Right? Somehow they survived that enough to pass on the genetics to get to we brazen people, right?
Right.
And so we're designed to overcome hurts and traumas physically just by walking. That's why when you go for a walk with your girlfriends and you gossip and you're backstabbing, you're telling all the crap, blah, and afterwards you're like, wow, That was free, and it's better than any therapy I've ever had in my entire life, because you were tapping, you were walking and talking. Left right stimulation plus talking processes those emotions into archive, and it takes the pain out of it.
Wow. But is it good to be judging though?
But okay, so here's the deal. Yes, if you're tapping, yes, and here's why. Here's why. Because when you're talking, what you're doing is expressing your neural networks that are your programming. What's coming out of my mind right now is my programming. Okay. And so we want to activate that part of the neural network so that it's hot and wiggling. And then we get in there and interrupt it with the tapping. That's what that is. That's why you want to bitch and judge while tapping. Your tapping is your feet left and right. Here, tapping here. You can tap like this. Everybody has a formula. Just because if I went on and taught tapping, I'd have to come up with something that wasn't like everybody else. That's all.
Exactly.
But really, you can do this. You know, I mean, it's tapping.
That's interesting. My friend Tris, his wife does tapping.
Yeah.
She
They
really
get into acupressure points and they get into essential oils. You can do all that or not. Just remember, you were made beautiful, right? We were made beautiful. So that's, anyway, I don't have anything original. I've just taken from everybody else and put it all together in one hunk. And people are actually getting some really amazing results. They're breaking through stuff.
That's fantastic. So are you hella busy or?
No, well, okay. So I'm hella an empath. I can only handle so much.
Okay.
Okay. So in the other business that I've got, I can only handle about 7 people a week. This work, though, the spiritual work, is the opposite. It's not draining. So I can work a lot more, but I'm only seeing maybe, I don't know, 10 people a week tops. But what the plan is to get rid of the other practice and replace it only with this, because for me, this is energizing. And so that means that I'm on point and I'm right where I need to be doing God's work. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
well, when you're doing the work, that's it. But they told me to go ahead and stop reading. I no longer do readings.
I know. I'm
Hey,
sad. I'm thankful I got one. I got one. It was great. But I'm sad you're stopping, and I'm good.
But I had to, because
I can live without you.
I gotta finish that book, and there's a lot of good readers out there.
Yeah.
A lot of good readers. But you're a horse of a different color.
Yes, I am, right? And so, but I fit in. And so my plan is to drop into as many of these psychic shows as I can get, because you're talking to people who have trauma, and I'm talking about something that doesn't actually compete at all with what you do or what readers do, because as deep as readers go, it's not as deep as what I do, because I'm actually diving down into it and pulling it out and doing a spring cleaning. Whereas what you guys are doing is mapping it out. You're describing where it is and when the inner child was wounded and what, these things. It's
Right.
really important what you're doing. It's really, really, really important. My mission is to show people that we are causal beings, that we don't need to go to readers, no offense, to find out whether or not we're going to this or that. What we need to be doing is getting rid of the resentments and the rage and the shame and the guilt and those things, because we are musical chords. This is John Randolph Price. This is not original to me. We are musical chords. And so we are created from the fabric of the very creator, because it gave birth to us. And so it drew from its own resources to create us. So therefore we are natural creators. We're always manifesting, folks. So you got to be on point, because you're always manifesting. You're asleep, you're awake, you're bitching, you're manifesting. You need to be agape love all the time. Agape love. You need to find all your enemies and love them and forgive them. You don't have to like them. You can ask for divine help. Right. So when you love and forgive and all that, it tunes up your musical chord, and then you're manifesting according to your highest and greatest good. And that's when you get synchronicities. But if you're really doing it right, you get divine justice. Really big stuff. Really big stuff. So my ex-husband got cheated on and ran through all of that, the kid torn away, and he wound up with a younger, prettier woman, said his son when she asked who was prettier. What a drama queen to ask who's prettier. Ask her son to judge who's prettier. But that's that personality thing I'm talking about. Remember? You go running around trying to push the river and work the world from your personality, you're going to have strife and difficulty and exhaustion. But if you work it from your upper canopy, now I'm grateful for her. She gave me those men. She gave me the treasures of my life. I have to honor that in her. That keeps me upper tree. Praying for 45 keeps me upper tree.
Right.
Keeps me alive, keeps me in joy, keeps me working, keeps the money flowing.
Excellent way to put it. Excellent way. I even asked my guides, since I follow more the Tao, Eckhart Tolle, that just to maintain in that space, because vibrationally, that which is like unto itself is drawn. So you cannot create what you're not. And in order to get there, because people say, well, Linda, how do I get it? And I try to tell them,
Mhm.
be quiet, be at
Right.
peace, breathe.
Right.
And every time you connect to the higher realm, you get more, because it happened to me. I started practicing, and within 6 months, I had to be careful what I thought because I could manifest it.
That's right.
One
Absolutely
of the
correct.
things I told my guides is, wait a second. If you're so into the now, why do you give me the gift of prophecy? What's the use? Because it's not about in the past or in the future. It should be about the now. Why do you have me do this? Why do you have me tell people the 45 is going to lose? What's the purpose?
Mhm.
And they said, because when things occur, that as long as I'm listening carefully and I get the message right, it gives people the faith and comfortableness of thinking, well, maybe there is something outside
right.
of all this.
Absolutely
Maybe
correct.
we as
Yep.
humans aren't running the whole show. Maybe there is a master collector.
That's right. That's right. So yes, can I jump in?
Sure.
So excellent point. So good job to your guides.
Yeah.
I'll give them points.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so my apology. I was just joking. So all we need to do is crack the paradigm, okay? All we need to do is crack it. We don't need to rebuild our whole perspective. If we could just tweak it a little bit. Remembering that 5 witnesses to a car accident will give 5 reports, and they mean it. They're sincere. They'll give 5 different opinions about what went down in the car accident, right? So we get so rigidly caught in I can never love a man again because I'm just too it was just too hard or whatever. And I first thing I do is I ask them, where are they feeling that in their body? When they say those things, where does it feel yucky? In my heart's so broken. And so we go down and we breathe through that and we open it up and we tweak it with just a little bit of a different perspective. That's what you did. You don't have to perceive that everything's going to be okay. Maybe that we will have enough. And that is enough of a paradigm shift just right there to take the panic out of it for them so that they can relax just enough to be able to go forward with their life. Yeah.
And also, I have so many people, and they're dear people, that have
Yes.
already set up why they're not going to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Maybe I'm even a little bit in a resistance, but it's not because of pain anymore. It's just I don't have time. But
You're at that stage in your life too.
yeah, but these people, I guess their heart was broken before. I read this woman that said she wasn't going to marry this wonderful man she's been with for 12 years. He was perfect because she got hurt 12 years ago by somebody else. I said,
Right.
oh, isn't that interesting? So that relationship still defines you.
Right.
You
So
are
see,
not
that's what
allowed
everybody would pull it
happiness
out.
because what he did 12
That's
years.
right. Yeah, it's the concept of, we pass these things down to our families too. If we keep going with this, we're actually bequeathing it to our future generations. Whether now I'm child free, but I bequeath my dysfunction to other future generations if I don't clean it up. We really have a responsibility to follow what was told to us by Jesus, to love our friends, love our enemies, love our neighbors,
And
as
not to be in
yourself.
fear, not to be in fear.
Right. Now, I never understood the loving myself part because I hated myself. I was given up for adoption, or at least they tried. Right. So that's my area of growth. That's all. But remembering too that when we step out endeavoring to heal our lives, all of heaven comes in and carries us. It's when we apply that little pesky free will. That's the secret, right? And then everybody else can join in.
Right. Exactly. And also the loving yourself can be so hard because I was raised, I'm way older than you, but I was raised in the environment. My parents were only 18 and 17, but they were from the post-World War II depression.
Yes.
Dirt poor. So, my dad used to say, why is that light still on?
Right.
That kind of energy. So you kind of curse the family, because you always think in terms of lack.
Right, exactly. And actually my parents were the same age.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the 7th child. My folks were born in a long time ago. They're long gone. So yes, we get into these strictures and it's not a big deal actually to undo them. I unprogram the programming that we have received. I unprogram, and I teach people how to unprogram it. So you and I are talking about it directly. So you're talking about 12 years ago, I decided that for, this man I've been with, blah, 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 blah. It's a decision they made at that one point. And that
Right.
decision is registered somewhere in their physiology, because your body is your truth partner and it is your information source. It is your physical Akashic record, essentially your subconscious mind. And so we go in there and we dig down and we find out where that decision was made, and we can reason with that one in there, that maybe it was a child, maybe it was an inner child that made that decision. So we find out how old
Well,
that
also,
person.
based on Edgar Casey, Dr. David Levine,
Oh yeah,
and
past lives.
Ruth Montgomery, we
Yep.
choose these parents. I totally believe it.
Well,
This is
and
all part of the game plan.
And it doesn't really matter what the information is, because the information also says that 95% of this is in past lives, and that there are other lives and there are future lives, and all this. It doesn't matter. It's a story in your mind. What matters is there pain? Have you hurt somebody else? Is there more to learn? Have you finished the lesson? Do we need to dislodge this lesson to move on to the next lesson? Good. Let's find out how to do that. So when people tell me how they hurt, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is usually good, because that tells me where to begin.
So you're kind of like a barometer. You're testing where those things are so they can address it and move forward. Because I tell people who are totally lost in their own self, ask for help. Ask.
Right.
You
Right.
don't have to carry all this. Give it away. Tell them, like I did with cancer. And my guide said,
Right.
when I was begging for my life, what are you doing? There's no such thing as death.
Right.
And I handed it over. I said, fair enough. If I die, I die. If I live, I live. And that's when my whole world changed.
Yep.
So I know there's other psychic readers that would probably love to have you on their show.
I know, fun, very
So
fun.
how do they reach you? Through your website?
Yes, JLynne Diva Coach. I'm also listed on Psychology Today. We will start a YouTube channel, I guess, because this just seems like so much fun.
Oh yeah, go. You better start. Let me know, and I'll be sure to be on it.
Very fun. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, that's right. Yes. Well, let's make some money for these Indigenous women. This farm has been going for a while. She's beyond, I think, most businesses die in the first 3 to 5 years. I think she's past that part now. I think we can invest in her and be thankful that this is going to go on. It's a beautiful thing.
Good.
So let's do it.
We'll sit down and I'll tell Mel about it. And
yeah.
Mel's
an Indian.
He is?
Yeah. Yes, he's told you so. He has Indian blood. Yep.
Oh,
I think
I think it's some way past in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Because it's all about me. So what do you
No, well, now again, one final point. Most of my ladies are very kind people, and I teach them to be selfish. So what I'm doing right now is the most selfish thing I could possibly be doing with my life at this moment. I'm having a ball. This is me being selfish. I'm trying to give away free care. Yeah. Bring it, baby.
That language right there is not in my vocabulary.
There's a book called The Art of Being Selfish. And the point of this is that if I'm being as selfish as possible, I'm doing exactly what I want. That is the most possible self-serving thing, which is to love you.
Selfish isn't what is described to all of us about being self-centered.
There are different people. So there are people who are narcissists, and that's the selfishness that is, you're arguing with me. That's the real definition, but I've got another real definition. Because there are people who aren't narcissists. And when we're being selfish, we're doing service work. When we're being selfish, we're paying for the person behind us on the Golden Gate Bridge. And they're freaking out trying to say thank you, and you're hitting the gas, so it's got to be anonymous, or it's not very fun, right? That's selfish for me, because it brings me joy. And when I have joy, that brings prosperity. Joy is the organizing and harmonizing energy of the universe. That's John Randolph Price. None of this information is original to me. I just put it all together, nerded out on it. And I figured out a way to get women free. My idea is, like I said at the beginning, we make 85% of the consumer decisions. We are the power in the world. We are the power. We don't need to become it. And so I'm showing women how to do it. And it's not patriarchal power where you punch people out and you yell at people and you force them this way and you force them that way. This is power versus force. Dr. David Hawkins, another really important person to know about. Dr. David Hawkins. So he talks about power versus force. When we empower women and they are selfish, and we're not talking about narcissists.
No.
Then we go, you and I, we go play over at the farm and we make money for her and she turns it into food for them and we are all blessed. You see.
Right. Well, I give to a lot of places.
I know you do. I know you do, but what am I? We'll do it. We'll do it.
So
So
we just raised like $4,000 for our friend that got
yeah,
sick.
Third Eye Champagne. How is
Yeah.
she?
She's doing okay, but she had a live again, and boy, she still looks really weak.
You know what? Can you give her my number and let's just have a look at her?
Sure.
See, let's have a look at her. Look under the hood, see if maybe there's something I can undo.
Okay, when we stop, you better, because I don't know. I have your website, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably have your phone number somewhere, but I got your email, which was most important.
Yay.
All right.
Okay.
So
So what I
this
had
is
originally, I
oh,
have enteritis.
that's okay.
I had originally wanted to go do your prayers. Had originally wanted to get on your airwaves because you have so many people and we pray over everybody. I just
Yes, yes, I'll invite you. Sure. We'll do I can't do it on YouTube
okay.
with somebody joining me. It has to be on StreamYard.
Okay. And
So
why
I'll
is StreamYard great?
invite you. Huh?
Why is StreamYard great? Remember me asking you to be my mentor? What's the deal with StreamYard? Why is it so good?
StreamYard, you can have guests. You can't do that. You can do it on YouTube via StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
It'll post on YouTube, but you have to do it via StreamYard. Just play with StreamYard. It's easy peasy. I'm not, you know me, I'm not very good. I didn't even know you could monetize YouTube.
I know, I love it. You give me so much strength. I'm like, okay, she can do it. Well, I can do it now because I have a Michelle. You need to meet Michelle.
Okay.
Only because she is just such a talent. She's a huge talent. And again, she was born with the blue streak. So what happened was she was in a really bad situation. I ended up driving out and packing crap in boxes for her. Hey, it's what we do when the chips are down. Her village followed me the whole way there. They harassed me and they're having fun. We're rocking out because from here to Chico is about an hour and a half. So I've got all these Indians floating all around. I'm driving over there, and one of them threw a tissue box at me at her house, and she's laughing. I almost exorcised him because anybody gives me any crap, I immediately exorcise. I don't even ask questions. And she's like, "Wait, it's my house. These are my ghosts."
Yeah, yeah.
So she protected them. So she's a really important figure, and she has worked in Hollywood with some big names that I don't remember who's who. The guy that danced with Baryshnikov and did tap dance, the black guy, mulatto, Gregory Hines. She worked with him and some other really big names. So she knows her stuff. And so she's indigenous. And so she needs to be set free into her new career. She was a dancer on stage and she broke her stuff, her body, and etc. So she's ready and hungry also. Can
Okay.
you get stuff on that? You picking up her energy at all?
Yeah, she feels great.
Right. Right. She is a
really
gem.
good.
So she, right, exactly. That's what I'm talking
If
about.
she knows how to do websites, I can get her a lot of work, but yeah.
So,
Is she
well,
intuitive?
highly. And so I'm not sure about getting her a lot of work because she's getting a check because she's permanently disabled. So what I'm going to need to do is build up wealth and then pluck her out and give her a real salary. This is my dream. I want to get rich on this, and I want to go around and philanthropically go to all the 501c3s and just give them cash. You know, find out who's actually effective and do it. That's what I want to do with my life.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Well, the
so
lotto's up to 900 million.
I know, yeah, I buy lottery tickets. I'm so resistant to the lottery, but
Hey,
I do.
it don't hurt to buy a $2
That's
ticket.
right. That's right. That's right. So I've said everything now at you.
All right. Well, you're very enthusiastic and kind, and you stand in the light, my friend. You've got the light, the Christ light around you.
Kept me alive.
Oh,
You kept me alive. I hung on you. Sorry.
thank you.
Sorry for the tears. We've been through this together. I know it's weird
Yeah.
having fans, I'm sure, because I feel like we're personal friends, and you're like, "Oh, what color's your eye?" You know.
Yeah.
Well,
no, you know, a lot of the people that I read that I've met, they all, even you, everybody feels so familiar. So I wonder if we were all together
That's
before.
right. Right. So the idea is to get, I think, to get all of us befriended even more, and we all come together in a big meditation, because the research shows that those meditations drop the violence. We have enough of us now. It's time. It's time to get together and just stop it with love. We have enough of us now, and we have a communication forum now. There is no reason we cannot do this. And I do mean tomorrow.
Okay.
Really. Nothing is beyond spirit. So spirit can bring us to peace and deliver us through very peacefully. We all use our obsidians and we all keep the meditation going, and we can sail on top of this white water. We don't have to go be pummeled like this.
I know, but it is getting better. I mean, it's
Yes.
taking a long time, and I'm
Yes.
sorry about that. But slowly but surely, we're all of this happened for a reason.
It's the great shaking, isn't it?
Even this Armageddon water that I prophesied, that I saw nothing but floods. It's all part of the earth readjusting.
Right.
Now,
And
the earth
we
doesn't do things to be mean to us. It's just saying, no, let me turn this way. Let me do this and that.
That's right. And what happens is, you remember after a big earthquake, everybody's hearts and spirits are really wide open and they connect. And so, but the problem is after the earthquake goes and we see everybody's okay, we close back down and go back to our TV and our isolation. So what we need to do, in my opinion, infotainment, is to keep it open and connected. And we continue and we om and we I am that I am and we MBO and we don't stop. Just like Kevin McCarthy, we don't stop. We keep
Exactly.
going.
Exactly.
Only in agape love. And then it brings people and it'll suck others up into it, the young ones who just need the love and they're not tainted yet, you see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. God, you got a good, let me tell you, you got a future, girlfriend.
appreciate it very, very much.
It's an honor to meet you.
Blessings to you. Igualmente. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan. All right. So yes, so let's play. I'm going to email you with Michelle's email.
Okay, great.
I think you could really benefit from her, honestly. It's no offense at all. She's just such a talent. I mean, she's way more talented than I
Oh,
am.
listen, the more people I introduce out here to help them help themselves, you got one person or a few people can only do so much. And there's some great readers out there.
Right.
But this is good. This spiritual help, this self-awareness is good.
Yes, yes. Remember to give Third Eye Champagne my number and I'll help.
I will. You guys, JLynne.divacoach.com. And Lynne is Lynne.
Correct. That's correct.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Blessings.
I'll be seeing you again.
Yay! Well,